Honorable Men Discord. Sean Kingston and his mother found guilty for fraud. Let's talk about it. So, if you're unaware, artist Sean Kingston um, and his mother were found guilty for up to what they say $1 million of material, or should I say of value, $1 million of products of value, and they were found guilty for never planning to pay for those items. So $1 million worth of items, expensive luxury items, and they never had plans of paying for those items. The items include, they said, a bulletproof vehicle, expensive watches, and the bulletproof vehicle, I think, is one of several cars, if I'm not mistaken. Expensive watches and some type of large TV that he had placed in his home. But let's get to this news report, and then we'll talk about it.
And we have breaking news now at 10. A federal jury finds rapper Sean Kingston and his mother guilty on all charges in their fraud trial. The pair accused of acquiring luxury items but scheming never to pay for them. The artist, whose real name is Sean Anderson, left the courtroom tonight without speaking to reporters. He'll be on house arrest until sentencing. His mother, Janice Turner, was not with him. She was immediately taken into custody after the verdict, with the judge citing her past criminal history and role in the scheme as key factors in his decision. Their sentencing is scheduled for July 11th.
All right. So there's an old scripture saying, and I don't know where in the Bible it's located, but he without sin cast the first stone. So this subject matter hits home for me. I'm not going to go into detail, but sometimes I can only assume. First of all, I'm shocked at the fact that his mother was involved, and I know his mother's a human being, so she's not perfect, but I'd like to think, well, I hold mothers at a high standard. That's not to say I don't, it's crazy for me to say this, because as a man, I respect the fathers out there that's doing their thing also, that are responsible and actually playing their part in their kids' lives. But as the mother, I'm actually shocked that she condoned it and helped support it, this type of activity. But I'm just going to chalk this up to living above their means and trying to keep up with the Joneses. I can only imagine when Sean Kingston came out as an artist, I want to say he had a very small window of success. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. I haven't been following his music. I just remember him from his song Beautiful, and that was many years ago. But when that record came out, when I first heard it, I was like, wow, who's this guy? And they were like, oh, his name is Sean Kingston. I was like, I really loved that record. That record was very good. I don't know if it, if it went gold or platinum. I don't know anything about that, but I can only imagine once he had that hit, everything after that was like the pressure to maintain whatever lifestyle he acquired after that hit. Then you got to understand, and I'm not making excuses for him, but I can only imagine as an artist, when you meet people in the industry, I should say, and whether you hang out with them or they hang out with you, you feel the need to keep up this image that you're on their level. You don't ever want to look as though you're struggling. And I know this is the case for a lot of entertainers. This is not just a Sean Kingston issue. Not as far as the fraud's concerned. I'm just talking about trying to keep that image of success and what success looks like. I'm pretty sure a lot of these artists are out there facing an unseen pressure that they may not ever admit, but it's out there. It's the pressure of looking like you're still doing very well for yourself, right? Because you don't want to be that guy who's driving a late model car, or I don't know, maybe it looks like as though you can't afford the latest jewelry, I know this might sound like something that's uh, maybe not a major issue for artists, and that's only because the artists are never honest with themselves and they're never truly honest in public. Let's be for real. These artists rarely give you a real account of what it's like being in the industry. You know, they'll never tell you if they wear fake jewelry. They'll never tell you if they'll never tell you if they did anything sneaky or grimy to attain the jewelry or the luxury cars. Some of them are driving rented cars. Some of them are using cars that were passed down from other entertainers. There's just so many things behind the scenes that these artists never disclose, but they just mainly want to put out that image like everything is everything. They're all successful. And Sean Kingston and his mother, to me, is a case of trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with the image of success, because there's no reason why they put themselves in a position where the federal government was basically investigating them. And for things like a bulletproof vehicle, I mean, no disrespect to Sean Kingston, but again, correct me in the comments, but I never saw him as that large of an artist that needs to be driven around in a bulletproof vehicle. Now, I don't know if he's had any issues with other entertainers, or I don't know what his past is like, but you know, to purchase a bulletproof vehicle, I don't understand that. And then things like the when you're dealing with jewelers and expensive watches, especially the bulletproof vehicle, because I know a bulletproof vehicle has got to run well over six figures, because they have to, you know, equip the front doors. The glass is extremely thick, and then you're talking about jewelry and things of that nature. I don't know how they told themselves that they'd be able to get away with that. You know, these jewelers don't play around. You know, you're not just gonna get watches from jewelers and they're gonna forget about you. You know, I don't know what was their thinking, and thinking that they could just get over on people like that, especially when you're dealing with high-end stuff, high-end cars. You know, I remember some years ago they mentioned Pop Smoke. You know, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. They mentioned how he tried to get away with a car that wasn't his, and I believe it was like a Rolls Royce or something like that, some high-end vehicle that he got from a dealer, a luxury dealer. And he actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they said he drove that vehicle from New York all the way to like Las Vegas or someplace far. It was like across country. And when I heard that report, I'm saying to myself, what are these people thinking? You like a vehicle, a whole vehicle, you think you're gonna just take it from one of these dealers and you're gonna just disappear, and they're never gonna press charges, they're never gonna have you followed or investigated to get their merchandise back? I don't know. Again, it's the pressure of appearing like you got it all together, like you're successful. And that's a prevalent thing within our community for some, especially entertainers, and also people that are not entertainers. You know, the guys in the streets doing the same thing, risking it all for that image, you know. But let's get into this. This is courtesy of Eve Star News, and they're just gonna break down this case with a little bit more detail. Let's get into it.
Sean Kingston, born Kycian Anderson, and his mother, Janice Turner, found themselves entangled in a highly publicized federal wire fraud trial in Florida. Their case has captivated the attention of both the media and the public, not only because of the high-profile nature of the individuals involved, but also due to the severe allegations and the legal consequences they face. After 3.5 hours of deliberation, the jury returned a guilty verdict on all counts, finding both Kingston and Turner guilty of conspiracy and wire fraud. This conviction is the result of a series of criminal activities spanning several years, which involved multiple businesses, high-value goods, and an intricate scheme to defraud various companies out of millions of dollars worth of luxury products. Sentencing for Kingston and Turner is set for July 11th, and both face significant prison time. The charges include 6 counts, with one charge being conspiracy and the other 5 being wire fraud. Each count could carry a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. leaving Kingston and Turner potentially facing a total of 120 years behind bars. The severity of the charges is compounded by the nature of the alleged fraud, which involved multiple businesses in different industries, including luxury car dealerships, jewelry stores, and high-end electronics companies. Kingston's emotional reaction to the verdict was palpable. After the decision was made, he was seen in tears, pleading with law enforcement officers to protect my mother. His distress was not just about his own fate, but also about the possibility that his mother might be imprisoned for the alleged crimes. The court had already determined that Turner posed a flight risk and therefore ordered her to remain in federal custody pending sentencing. Kingston, on the other hand, was granted house arrest. He was also ordered to post a substantial bond, which included $500,000 in property and an additional $200,000 in cash. This arrangement has led to speculation about Kingston's financial situation and the extent to which he was involved in the scheme orchestrated by him and his mother. The charges against Kingston and Turner stem from a series of fraudulent activities that allegedly began years ago and continued until their arrest. Kingston and Turner reportedly used a combination of persuasion and deceit to convince businesses to provide them with valuable products without upfront payment. Some of the items in question included a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade, expensive watches, and luxury televisions. These products were alleged.
Let me just tell you, I don't know what year the Cadillac Escalade was, but I could tell you one thing. Even the old model Cadillac Escalades are starting anywhere from $70,000 to $80,000, and that's just regular Cadillac Escalade, fully loaded and everything. So I can only imagine, like, again, a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade. We're talking six figures, high six figures for a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade, and that's just one of the things that they pretty much swindled out of the dealership's hands. Again, you take these things, and what you thought there was no way for it to be tracked, you thought that they were just going to forget about it and just take it as a loss. I don't know what the thinking was. You have two adults. You have the mother, and Sean Kingston's 35 years old at the time of this video. I don't know if they really thought these things through, and let these situations be eye-opening event to any of you that are out there thinking you can outsmart the system. All right, you cannot outsmart the system. And even when you think you outsmarted the system, they're just building up a case, and they will get you eventually. And you got to ask yourself, is anything that you're doing worth the risk? Is it worth giving up years of your life? Because the years of freedom is priceless. You can't put a price on freedom. And I know, for many of you that are struggling with keeping up with the Joneses, you don't want to be out there working a regular job. The money is slow. I get it. I'm in that, that struggle pretty much myself. That slow money. No one likes slow money. Some of us, we just want the fast money. We want to be able to do what we want when we want. I mean, who doesn't? But at what risk? At what risk? And I don't know about any of you viewers, but I'm not willing to lose my freedom to be in some type of luxury car or have a luxury watch or any of those things. It's just not worth it to me. For that, I'll just, I'm fine with my Apple Watch and my late model vehicle. You know what I'm saying? It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. But I hope you guys are paying attention. The feds have been extremely, extremely, extremely active within these last few months. The New York City mayor, for those of you in New York, you already know, he's been under the radar. You got Diddy under the radar from the feds. Out on the West Coast in Cali, you got that whole RICO situation going on with Big U. You got Sean Kingston, and I'm sure I forgot someone or some others while mentioning this, but it's just not worth it. If you get anything from this video, just know that any type of scams that you may be doing and you think you're on top of the world right now, I just advise you to stop. Stop while you're ahead if you actually enjoy being outside and being free. But let's continue. Let's see what else she has to say.
Obtained by Kingston and Turner under false pretenses, with promises of payment that were never fulfilled. In some instances, Kingston and Turner are said to have employed a tactic where they would promise to promote the company's products on social media platforms in exchange for high-end items. Kingston, a well-known figure due to his successful career as a reggae artist, reportedly relied on his fame and connections to make these promises seem credible. He would allegedly name-drop former collaborators, such as pop star Justin Bieber, in an attempt to bolster the legitimacy of the agreements. Kingston and Bieber's last collaboration was in 2010 on the hit song Eeny Meeny, a track that was widely successful and brought Kingston significant exposure in the entertainment industry. However, despite these...
Just real quick, forgive the furniture moving upstairs. As always, that's my neighbors making their self present with the dropping of whatever they're dropping upstairs and dragging furniture. And then I'm combating against that in the rain outside. But that's dirty work by Sean Kingston by mentioning Justin Bieber. I mean, if you're gonna do your dirt on your own. You know, when you start bringing or using other people's names, that's just dirty work. You know, but then again, there's no honor among thieves. You know, there's no structure among thieves and criminals. You know, they're just out there by any means. They just gotta get it, and they'll throw anybody under the bus. They'll take people out. It's a very shady. It's a shady mindset for people that operate like this. You know. But again, you know, he without sin cast the first stone. So don't take my words as I'm, acting as though I'm higher than or I'm above this, because I'm definitely not above this. But I'm just trying to get the point across to some of you that are watching that it's just not worth it. The scams is not worth it. You know, they'll catch you eventually. All right. And I don't, to be honest with you, I don't even think it's necessary to play the rest of this video because it's pretty much cut and dry. They were found guilty, and all of this could have been avoided had they, stopped while they were ahead. But from what the report said, they continued all the way up until the raid. So they had no intentions of stopping, which is beyond crazy to me. Again, if you have high-end stuff, these jewelers, these dealerships, they are going to stay on top of it. They're not going to just take the loss. So I don't know what they were thinking with stuff like that. I don't even... Listen, if you steal a Honda from a Honda dealership, and that's not even a high-end car, no disrespect to Hondas, people that drive Hondas, the point I'm trying to make, even if you take a Honda, that dealership is going to make sure they find and locate that vehicle. They're not just going to take a loss like that. All right. But that's what I have for you today. As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.